want to get all we can on the chip shortage. First and foremost, how do you see it playing out throughout 2022?
So right now it's still a pretty complicated situation, but we all bet on the fact that in H2 the situation will get back to the normal. So we have last year we lost like 500,000 cars that we could have potentially produced and sold, but we think this year will be the whole impact will be 300. So it's better than last year, but still not ideal situation. And by summer it should get into kind of a normal rhythm.
I wonder about, yesterday we had Ed Ludlow down in Mississippi at a Nissan plant. They're talking about their EV production, and your relationship with Nissan seems to be improving. How is that partnership, especially when it comes to building electric vehicles?
I mean, it's the transition to electric is a huge opportunity for the alliance because both Renault and Nissan are kind of pioneer in their respective markets on this technology. So we know what we're talking about. We do that since 10 years. We, just if you take the Renault cars, they've been running for 10 billion kilometers on an electric powertrain. So it's something that we know how to do it, design it, repair it, etc. So we've made a lot of decisions in the last 12 months. Together with Nissan, we've decided to use a similar chemistry, a similar, exactly the same module, and we have decided some structuring project like battery plant in the north of France, the battery plant that they do in the UK, and also recently Nissan announced that they would jump on our small electric car platform in one of our plants in the north of France. So you see the dynamic is good, and that electrification is an opportunity to strengthen the partnership with our Japanese colleagues.
So you like the dynamic between the two at the moment. Luca, good morning. Let me linger on the subject of supply chains for a moment. What is it about the supply chain issues and getting hold of semiconductors in particular that is so difficult, Luca? Is it a question of revisiting contracts, trying to move up the priority list with those suppliers? What is it that automakers can do to try and fight off the others that are in the market going for the same semiconductors?
I will need an hour and a half to explain you the complexity of the thing. I don't think we have the time, but actually it's a very complex supply chain with a lot of layers, and the increase in the capacity in the semiconductor industry, it's kind of a long-term thing. So by the way, we are also in the automotive industry using some legacy technology that is not the one on which the semiconductor industry is actually really interested for the future. So we have to manage that kind of transition. We are also redesigning some of our products to actually accommodate new technology, but in the meantime, we need to produce cars. And right now, and still now, it's still a very complicated situation, not only for us, but also for our tier one that are assembling them in components. So it's something that where we saw a kind of a mismatch between the projected demand of an industry that actually doesn't count for, we are not one of the first industry consuming semiconductors, okay, and the projection that the semiconductor industry had. So a mismatch that you need 1 year and a half to correct. That's where we are in. We're managing it, and it's going to get better, we hope, in a few months.
Luca, I just moved back to New York from Berlin. Dacia is an incredibly popular brand in Germany, and I would be excited to see the Alpina cars here for sale. When will you start to be exporting to the U.S.?
That's a big question. I mean, I think I have a lot of respect for American consumer, American market. I think you need to get the right product to do that, and you need to have the resources to do that. And for the time being, it's not part of our plan because we don't have the product to do that, and we don't have the resources. But it's a kind of a dream, and a brand like Alpine, for example, would be exciting for a lot of car enthusiasts in America.